Hiring a branding coach could cost you $124,000+ over the next 6 months. Now, it's a pretty audacious point of view, and it's not just a catchy headline. Now, you probably have hired someone that has helped you build a book a call funnel, or you've hired somebody that has taught you how to run ads to build a group, and you're supposed to go live in that every week for 20 to 30 minutes, and just magically people are going to run to you and sign up. Or maybe an organic coach that is telling you to, hey, just if you're a doctor, just put on your lab coat, walk down the hospital aisle, and just say, hey, my life sucks. Yours does too. I want to let you know these 3 secrets that now my life doesn't suck anymore. And just put out a bunch of videos like that every single day. We've all heard these, we've all tried them, and 85% of my clients that I work with have tried that, gone through that, spent $10,000, $20,000, even $50,000 to go through programs like this to get this type of advice. And they've failed for 6 months, some even for like 6 years, and have spent 10,000. I've had clients spend as much as $200,000 on coaching programs to go through. And if you've done that, you've probably been in the online space for a while. Even if you're new, you probably see a lot of people talking about branding, messaging, branding, authentic messaging, personal messaging, blah, 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 blah. And it couldn't be more further from the truth on one end of the spectrum and 100% true on the other end of the spectrum. I was in fitness for almost 25 years. And whenever I was teaching fitness to people, I always said health is like a two-edged sword. You'll hear from one person, carnivore as an example, is the best, greatest thing. Anything else is completely garbage. The other side is if you're not vegan, you're dying. And if you're doing anything else, you're horrible. Hey, you've got to count your macros, otherwise you won't see results. Hey, don't count any macros, and that's why you're failing, right? We've all heard eggs are the best food on the planet. And then, hey, they're the worst thing and they cause heart disease. Milk's the best thing on the planet. It's the worst thing on the planet. Orange juice, so on and so forth. And that is one of the biggest things about the online space. It's much like the political scene. Whichever side you're on, you've been being marketed to believe that and completely believe the opposite and actually fight against the opposite. And branding is going on right now the same thing, because the market today is way more sophisticated, way more educated. 10 years ago, it was easy to run an ad, to have someone watch a 45-minute webinar or click an ad. Hey, go to a landing page, learn how to do this, and you're magically going to achieve $500,000 months, doing nothing and working from the beach an hour a day and living your authentic dream life, right? We've all, and to a point too, not to get off on a tangent here, but one thing when I'm working with a client, one thing that we set up is what is your elite lifestyle and what is your elite business model actually look like? Because some people want to be a 7-figure solopreneur, some people want to be an 8-figure business and really make an impact in the market and have large teams, run tons of money in ads. And both of those businesses can be done, and if they're done right. But it's two very different business strategies, but fundamentally they're very much the same. You don't hit numbers like that without a powerful brand. So yes, it's 100% important. And it's one of the very first things that I do with a client is we dial in the brand, the tagline, micro scripting, because it does become the DNA of everything after that. And people have to be able to look at stuff very quickly to know what you do. So where do I get off on saying, hey, branding is going to cost you $124,000+ over the next 6 months? I'll be getting that in just 1 second. Now, when you look at branding, I'm going to use, let's use Bounty as an example. Bounty is a name that means absolutely nothing if you just see it by yourself. Now you throw a tagline or a microscript with it, the quicker picker upper. Now you're starting to get a more clear picture of what it is. but you don't really truly get a full 100% understanding of what the quicker picker upper is until you watch a commercial and they're showing how their paper towels will pick up one paper towel will pick up 3 gallons of spilt milk off the floor, no problem in seconds, right? So now Bounty, which meant nothing, quicker picker upper meant a little bit something, but now that you've seen the commercial, now it makes sense. And now quicker picker upper becomes the classic phrase everyone repeats and knows exactly what you're talking about. And that's why branding, taglines, and microscripts are super important for any brand, whether you're a product, you're a brick and mortar business, or an online business owner selling a service. That stuff is really key because it rings in someone's ear. So every time that they see you, they think quicker picker upper, right? And immediately the commercial plays in your head when you think about that as well. That's why stories are so powerful. Now, another example is a Saturday Night Live skit, which I absolutely love. And I cannot believe actually that no one actually did take this and steal it and make a $1 million business out of it. But there was a commercial back in the days of when Saturday Night Live was actually pretty funny still, but it was called Oops, I Crap My Pants, right? And if you have seen that skit, Oops, I Crap My Pants, the whole skit just played in your mind immediately in a matter of seconds and immediately probably made you chuckle. You probably totally understood what it was. And that's the power of branding, but it goes way, 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 way deeper in that because you can work with a branding coach and get Bounty, get Oops, I Crap My Pants. You can get quicker picker upper, right? You can get those pieces. But where everyone fails is the commercial. When I said quicker picker upper, a commercial played in your mind. When I said, oops, I crap my pants, the commercial played in your mind, and you see the older couple out there playing tennis. Like, oh, I can't play tennis. My bowels are bad, right? And she's all embarrassed. Then she puts on the pens and she's out there, and it's if you haven't seen it, it's super funny. You should actually Google Saturday Night Live. Oops, I crap my pants because it's really really funny. But the whole thing plays through. Now, why is that important? Because everything you put online is that commercial. Now, everything you're putting online of that commercial is based off your brand, right? Now, also in the space, because so many people have been burned where they've invested $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, $50,000 into an ad that they saw to some head of a company in their face, and then fulfillment on the back end, they never talked to that person, never saw that person, never that person doesn't even know their name, which is one of the reasons why with all of my clients, mine's do it for you and personalized mentorship, because I can't stand hopping on coaching calls anymore. I can't stand hopping on videos and watching stuff, because most of the courses I bought, I could actually watch majority of those videos for free on YouTube and learn the exact same thing. And having a group of people that you all get together once a week and celebrate, oh, I had 3 calls this week, all of them hung up on me, yay, my funnel's working. But there's no sales to do for it. That's all a bunch of busy work, and that's not the way I like to operate my business. It's not the way that my clients like to operate their business either. Now, sorry to get back on track here, talking about the branding and the messaging. I'm going to share my screen here in a second so you can really kind of see what I kind of mean about this. Because the majority of people, once you've hired all these coaches to learn these tech stacks, and if you think of a ClickFunnels funnel or Go High Level funnel, right? It's just tech. One of the biggest things I stress to all my clients is realizing it is just tech. And you can use a tactic by having a landing page. Another page could be a VSL, it could be a webinar, it could be whatever. And then further steps to get someone to finally take an action, which is to buy from you somehow. It could be jump on a call. It could be click to cart. It could be, if this sounds really good, reach out to me. I'll send you more information directly. And I have a lot of clients that can sell $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 programs right through the DMs because they're constantly putting out a commercial that people remember and tie back to their brand. And so therefore, now when you have a conversation with somebody, you can send them a simple PDF file that gives them 100% of everything they need to know to make a decision. And then you get a message going, I'm ready to start. When do we? Okay, do you want me to send the payment link, or should we jump on a 15-minute call, get that squared away, and get your onboarding schedule set up what works best for you? Well, yeah, just send the link and then I'll book in onboarding for next week. Boom, done. Awesome. That's not done from a 6-minute VSL. That's not even done from a 45-minute webinar. That's done by getting in the person's mind, like, oops, I crapped my pants, like quicker, picker, upper. And again, that's why branding is important. So now again, why would you have the potential of losing $124,000+ in 6 months by working with a branding coach? The reason why is because majority of them have a program. I've seen $3,000, I've seen $10,000, I've seen $15,000, I've seen $20,000. Chris Do is one of my favorite people to watch. And he's got a really high level, and I don't even know what his mastermind is, but he's really good on branding, design work. He used to do commercials, music videos, all that type of stuff. The average online business owner or business owner is not going to be going to someone of his caliber. They're going to be going to somebody that they see online. And just like marketing, all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah, everything's not working because my brand isn't working. Yeah, that is part of the problem. Now the issue arises, and what you want to take a look at, like, look where your business is and what you need. That's the most important thing every single time. A lot of people watch marketing, read marketing, and they're like, that's what I need, that's what I'm going to do. And the only person that they're watching is this branding expert because they know that that's a problem. So they jump on a call or have a conversation, and that person, they end up, let's just say, spend $10,000 to go through their branding program. Now, over the next 6 months, you're watching videos, you're going through worksheets, you're trying to figure out what your brand is, who your target market is, what your tagline should be, what you should say, all those type of things, right? Well, over the course of the next 3 to 6 months, as you're going through, you're losing time on making money. And a lot of the businesses I work with, they have an offer somewhere between $5,000 to $10,000. Some are up to $25,000. Let's just do the low end, $5,000. The next 6 months, you're going through this course material. Every day that goes by that you're not putting content out that's selling your ideal buyer, you're losing money. Let's just say your offer is $5K. Every week, you're missing one sale. That's $20,000 a month. Over the course of 6 months, it's actually $240,000. One of my favorite books is Ready, Fire, Aim. If you've never read it, I think you should go do it. And every successful 7-figure, 8-figure business owner, every successful business owner, every successful individual in life, in any area of life, one of the things that make them successful, ready, fire, aim. They're taking constant action. Now, one of my other favorite books is from Jocko Willink, which is Extreme Ownership. Look at your business right now where it is. Take extreme ownership of where it's at and where it's headed, more importantly. Because successful individuals realize things aren't working. If you've been posting on social media for 90 days, running ads on social media for 90 days, and you're not making money, but you're losing money, over the next 3 months, that is not going to change without a pivot. All the businesses I know that grow really fast, that scale, and they stay there, it's because they constantly pivot and they're constantly testing. Just an example, working with a client a few months back. They're actually in Italy. They have an Italian offer. Their fund was written in Italian. I don't speak Italian. Luckily, he speaks English. So they were having a major problem with no-show rates, and they had a 2-call close. And the second call, people were not showing up. Therefore, you can't make any money. This was going on for about 30 days. He knew that he had to make a pivot. He couldn't go another 30 days without solving this problem. They were getting like I think it was 82% no-show rate. Excuse me. Geez, sorry, I just breathed in a feather. Now just going through his funnel, even though I couldn't read it, going through their sales structure, even though again I couldn't read it, I couldn't listen to the material, I knew the problems that were going on. So I offered a few different solutions from, hey, we need to limit some of the automations going out. We need to cut down on this constant contact. You're pushing people away. You're scaring them away with the type of offer it is. So people aren't showing, because you book a call and you get 4 emails and 3 text messages before the first call. You have your first call. All of a sudden you get 4 more emails and 3 more text messages before your second one. It's a high pressure situation. You're putting a lot of resistance, fear, and pressure on somebody, so people aren't going to show. On top of it, there was no reason for that person to show up to a call. There was no anticipation built, no excitement. There was no reason to show up. So we talked about a few different assets that could be built to give between the first call being built and between call number 1 and call number 2. This took their no-show rate from like 80% down to 30%. Now, the reason why I'm saying that is because a lot of people have so many issues going into business, and they really just think it's just my ads, or I'm not good at sales calls, or people don't know me and I'm not getting any followers. I'm getting a bunch of likes, but no one's actually reaching out to me to make a sale. That's why branding is really, really important. Number 1 is make sure you dial that in, but making sure your ideal buyer structure is in place as well. And I know I'm getting a little off track here with the branding, but I just want you to kind of see a bigger picture of where your business is at. And that's why taking complete ownership. If whatever you're doing right now is not working and hasn't been working, it's not magically going to start working. If your ads haven't worked, spending another 60 days trying to figure out why Facebook and settings, and you're wasting your time. Those things are important. But if it's not working already, those tweaks aren't going to maximize it. If your organic is getting crickets or nobody reaching out to work with you, it's not working. And if you want to continue going that path, that is completely up to you. But if you need to make a pivot, it's really important to understand what pivot to take. And going back to hiring a branding coach, having the next 3 to 6 months of you going through a bunch of videos, a bunch of worksheets, is that the best thing that you need? Because oftentimes, and you've probably been through this before, you saw some marketing and was like, oh, this perfect funnel. Hey, we're 1 funnel away. Hey, get better at closing, and you'll go from a 5% closing rate up to 50%. The wrong person in the wrong place, doesn't matter how good of a salesperson you are. The right person with the right information in the right place. Yes, your sales skills do matter. And yes, they also can be improved. And I do some sales coaching. I'm not a sales coach. A lot of my clients say that I am, but that's not what I want to do. I want to help people actually build their businesses. So what you have to ask yourself is, paying someone $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 to over the next 6 months to not make any money because you're trying to figure out this branding, does that make sense? Or having that branding dialed in, knocked out, squared away within 7 days or less, which is more important to you, right? Now I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to go through some copy because when we're talking about the commercial, right? So everything you put on social media, whether it's written copy, whether it's pictures, videos, whatever it may be, that's the commercial. Now, if we go back to Bounty and the quicker picker upper, and let's say on social media saw a post, Bounty, quicker picker upper, but you didn't know anything about them. Book with me now. You got major issues. Your life sucks. You have messes all over your house. Click the link below to buy. Are you buying? No. On Facebook, think of the one car you've always wanted. Maybe the one car that you had that you wish you had back. Let's say on Facebook, you saw someone in Marketplace, you saw someone post that car, and I'm just going to use a Lamborghini as an example. Let's say it's a $500,000 Lamborghini. You see a post in Marketplace, $500,000 Lamborghini for sale. It must go. It's an estate sale. It's only $10,000. Now you immediately reach out like, I want that car. And then all of a sudden you realize, hey, they didn't put any pictures in. So you start asking them questions. And they're like, nope, just send the money, and then we'll have it delivered to you. Would you ever wire someone $10,000 in that scenario without seeing a picture, test drive, and having any information except for someone online saying, hey, I've got a Lamborghini at $500,000, I'm selling for 10? No, every friction point, every natural instinct in your body is going to go, this is a scam, I'm going to lose money. Majority of people's content funnels are setting you up this way. Even with the best brand name, the best tagline, the best microscript. And here is the reason why. It's the communication that you're having with the individual, and that communication is a game changer. One thing that I tell a lot of my clients, and sometimes this is even a phrase that is used in marketing materials. If you're looking for a $97 solution for a $100,000 problem, you are probably not the individual I'm looking for, and I am not the right person for you. Right there, that is going to disqualify people that are looking for something free, that is going to look for something cheap. But the people that understand high value, high results, and even potential luxury, it's going to say, hey, I'm in the right place, right? You never have somebody that's looking for a $10,000 car walk into a Lamborghini dealership. They know. If Lamborghini was giving away free keychains, do you think they would get their ideal buyer in? No. That is a majority of what I see and most of my clients have struggled with. They're a Lamborghini, but they're giving away free keychains and wondering why the wrong people are showing up. And it all comes down to the commercial, all comes down to the communication, how you're portraying that. So I'm going to share my screen here real quick. I'm going to give you guys a little bit clearer example so you can really, truly understand this. So this is a client that I've been working with and we were looking at. So if you can see that, and I'll read this out. So if you're listening to this, you don't have to pull it up, or if you're on your phone, you can't read it. It's okay. I'm going to kind of read it so you can kind of understand. So we've got copy on the left, which is speaking to a way higher level individual, and one on the right, which is speaking to a lower individual. Now, when I say higher and lower, I want to be very clear. It's not that the person on the left or the right is lower value as a human, but their ability financially, goal-wise, where they're at in their life, action taker or not. The phrase tire kicker is thrown out there all the time, which I really hate. There's a lot of really good people out there that don't buy and are be called tire kickers, when in reality they didn't get the information they actually needed, and it wasn't delivered properly the way that they needed, and they didn't have all the information that they needed. No different than you buying that Lamborghini on Facebook Marketplace. Now, the commercial piece, again, you can go back to some of the people that I was talking about, that you hire somebody to run ads to a Facebook group, run ads to a book a call funnel, maybe a low ticket ascension funnel, that ends up selling your high ticket offer. And so you can run ads and the front end pays for the ads. So basically you're generating leads for free and able to close them very quickly through automation, emails, send them into your sales ecosystem and convert the right people into high ticket buyers. But you do that through proper communication. I see a lot of people out there that all they do is post like a problem and then agitate the issue and then, hey, book a call with me if you want to do that. And then I see them complaining inside marketing mastermind groups of everyone that jumps on my call, on a call with me, they always say they need to think about it. They have no money. Is that really true? Yeah, with some people it is. I mean, we can all be honest there, but it shouldn't be the case majority of the time. The reason why people need to think about it is because they don't believe you have a Lamborghini that's worth $500,000. You didn't give them the pictures. You didn't let them test drive it. They didn't take it out. They don't believe it's even yours, that you even have the title for it. Right. And that's the majority of what people are showing up in the calls and why you're struggling. And speaking to the person, the proper communication is really, really different. So if I read the top line here on the one on the left, hey, are you a high achieving South Asian woman executive finding your ascent to the C-suite inexplicably hindered despite your exceptional expertise? The language we're using is completely different than one on the right. Not just calling out, hey, C-suite, there's so many people out there that they try to get their branding and they're told, hey, I help women unleash their inner goddess. Hey, I help men get rid of their dad bod. And they're not attracting an ideal client, they're attracting a bunch of broke people. And so then they switch it. Hey, I help CEOs get rid of their dad bod. Because you put CEO in there doesn't make you're going to attract CEOs. It actually puts you in a worse place. And if a CEO does see that, and then they start listening to your communication, you're going to repel your ideal client away faster than anything. They're going to basically go, yeah, I'm not looking for your $7 thing. Now, if I look at the second one, hey, are you a skilled South Asian woman struggling to move up the career ladder despite your excellent technical skills? So we're obviously talking to a different person. Someone's looking at moving up the career ladder versus someone in the C-suite. But again, the verbiage, pay attention to it. Are you a high achieving South Asian woman executive finding your ascent to the C-suite inexplicably hindered despite your exceptional expertise? Are you a skilled South Asian woman struggling to move up the career ladder despite your excellent technical skills? Speaking to someone completely different. Now, one of the things whenever, because I do it for you services with a lot of my clients, I actually do this comparison with pretty much everything I write. It is twice the work for me, but me doing twice the work to make sure that we're dialing in the proper ideal client for every one of my clients, that's extremely important because the return on investment for them is not only faster results, because we can get this done in 2 to 4 weeks rather than the next 6 months. We're actually putting content out immediately rather than waiting 6 months. But also we want to make sure that you're constantly testing things. The other thing is with this offer, we're actually going to be landing in the middle. So I like two contrasting situations to where we're going to be we're actually going to have the copy where it's going to be not the high-end C-suite, but also not someone just struggling to move up the career ladder, but talking to that person right in the middle that's really looking for high value, high results. They have serious goals in their career and they're being stopped for one reason or another. And now if I continue kind of reading, it's a profound dilemma when your cultural heritage and technical brilliance seem at odds with unspoken rules of global leadership. Now, when you look at South Asian women, their culture, their upbringing, a woman in a place, how they're positioned in society is very different than Western. And that's where lots of times it's not just their skill set, not just their brilliance that's holding them back, but lots of times it's limiting beliefs. It's the way they're brought up culturally and how they actually communicate, interact within that corporate setting, which is holding them back. And so we have to, if we're doing that, we have to, and trying to convert somebody, we have to get them to understand multiple layers of what's actually holding them back. Now, if we go to the next right, it's a heart-wrenching state, always being pushed aside for leadership roles due to perceived social ineptitude. This is a problem that many South Asian working women in their 30s and 40s face, leading to feelings of disappointment and frustration. Compared to the unique challenges faces many accomplished South Asian women in senior management roles, often leading to a sense of untapped potential amidst otherwise stellar careers. Again, how you read that, that's your commercial. Who you're speaking to is who your commercial is going to attract. Right? And it's essentially, again, if I use politics as an example, if you're on one side of the spectrum, you watch that news station. If you're on the other side of the spectrum, you watch that news station. How you're speaking to somebody is going to depend on whether someone turns you on or turns you off. And so if you're looking for a C-suite individual, you better not be using the copy on the right because it's not going to speak to them. They're immediately going to flip the channel and look for somebody else. And this is the biggest issue that I want to say 99% of the business owners out there I see. Now, again, going back to why this is important, because again, when I work with a client, it's done for you and a mentorship aspect. So you're not going through a bunch of videos. I'm not giving you a bunch of worksheets and you got to go figure this stuff out on your own. No, we work together. We dial in the messaging. We get your brand super dialed in. But then we start creating a proper communication style on top of it. And this communication style needs to blend, not only speaking to the right individual, but it needs to blend in your brand. Also, your person, who you are. Oftentimes you hear, oh, authentic. Yeah, we all get that, be yourself. But you also, when you are speaking to individuals and your commercial out there, you have to be yourself because people will buy you as an individual more than they will buy because of what you're giving them, because they have so many options out there. So if you're not blending them both together, a personal brand and a business brand blending together is essentially your DNA strand. Personal brand one side, business brand the other side, and intertwined becomes extremely powerful. Now I'm going to give a little bit more of an example too as we scroll through here. And you can see that it's kind of a long landing page. Let me go get both of these up here. So I'm going to read the left one here first. The Bindas Bowl method is an exclusive, and the Bindas Bowl method, so that's an Indian phrase that talks about inner fire, inner power, unleashing your inner goddess, right? It's a very powerful term in their culture that they really truly understand. So when they send the Bindas Bowl method, they're immediately going to be thinking just like, oops, I crapped my pants, quicker picker upper. It's immediately going to play a story that they're going to tie into themselves of being the person they want to be. It's going to connect them to this higher identity immediately. And that's a very powerful thing when you have copy. You need to be talking to people's higher identity with a lot of these higher offers. And too often you're told of, hey, are you somebody that just can't get out of bed in the morning? Well, come buy my $10,000 product. They can't get out of bed in the morning. Are they able to afford $10,000? Number one. Number two, are they actually going to complete your program to get the result? No, that's a wrong person in the wrong place. You're going to show up in your sales call and you're going to be complaining again that they're broke. You're getting the wrong people. Yeah, because you're speaking to the wrong individual. So again, I'm going to start kind of over here on the left-hand side. The Bindas Bowl method exclusive 6-week executive development program meticulously crafted for South Asian women in senior leadership roles. Now, if I go to the right side, the Bindas Bowl Method, an intensive 6-week group coaching program tailored for South Asian women. I'm going to read those over again and really think about this. The Bindas Bowl Method is an exclusive 6-week executive development program meticulously crafted for South Asian women in leadership roles. Does that sound like $97 or does that sound like $10,000? Now, the one on the right, the Bindas Bowl Method is an intensive 6-week group coaching program tailored for South Asian women. Does that sound like a $97 offer or a $10,000 offer? Now, if we go on the right here, I'm going to stay on the, actually, I'll go back to the left and we'll go to the higher end one first. So what you're going to get is 6 weeks of intimate, high-level group coaching sessions, 3 personalized one-on-one consultations focused on shattering glass ceilings and accelerating your ascent to C-suite positions. Mastery of C-suite communication style that amplifies your cultural strengths and executive presence. Elite career trajectory planning, mapping your path to global influence and legacy building. Executive presence amplification, crafting a precise strategy to secure your next C-level position or coveted board seat. Now, if we go to the one, does that sound like $97? Does that sound like $10,000? So if we go to the right here, 6 weeks of group coaching calls, 3 one-on-one sessions, with each session with a focus to break through your barriers and get your career back on track. Mastering your communication style built around your core values and your personal uniqueness. Career clarity roadmap, building out the path to your specific career goals. Career accelerator blueprint, design the exact step-by-step process to ensure you get the next promotion or hired for your next dream position. Does that sound like a $97 offer or a $10,000 offer? And just kind of wrap up a little bit here at the end as well. I think you guys are kind of grabbing this, and I hope you are. And if you have any questions about this stuff, always shoot me comments or find me on Facebook, shoot me a message, and I'll help you out, answer any questions you might need. So, hey, great news. As part of our introductory offer, you can access the Bindas Bowl Method at a limited time special rate. Going to go to the left side. Bindas Bowl represents the pinnacle of career transformation programs, typically reserved for a select few, an investment of $20,000. However, for a limited time during our exclusive launch phase, we're offering unprecedented access to the game-changing system. Early adopters will secure this comprehensive package at a fraction of the investment, a significant opportunity that reflects both the exceptional value and our commitment to fostering industry leaders. This isn't a discount. It's a strategic investment in your business future. We're seeking visionaries who recognize unparalleled value and are ready to act decisively. Remember, this offer is strictly limited to ensure personalized, high-touch service. Once our roster is full, the investment will return to its standard premium rate. So if I go back to the right, great news. As part of our introductory offer, we can access the Bindas Bowl Method at a limited time special rate. Remember, improved communication and leadership skills don't just bring career success, but also enhance your personal life. Act now. Click the Learn More button to embark on this transformational journey. Here we answer all your questions regarding the program, process, and outcomes, making sure you are fully informed and ready to begin your journey with Bindas Bowl. So I want you to kind of ask yourself, when you go back through the last week of content, go back through your landing pages, go back through your webinars, your VSLs, go back to the videos you're going live. Which one do you sound like? Do you sound like the one on the left? That's obviously high value, high results, premium pricing, premium option, premium program, or the one on the right? Now, depending on who your target market is, the funnel, the process, the ideal buyer situation you're going through, depending on how you are reaching your ideal clients, Having this written is very, very, very important. Now, as an example, if we take that left copy, the one where it's more of the premium pricing, that's showing, hey, this is a $10,000 offer. If I use an ascension funnel as an example, we might start with the copy on the right because we are going to be selling something that might be $7, it might be $47, it might be $97. So using copy that is a little bit on the lower end communication style, we want to capture as many leads as possible, but we kind of want a blending of the two. And that's where major results kind of happen. And then as they go through your ideal buyer journey and through the funnel, it starts elevating the communication style. So people are dropping out or, nope, that's not for me. I've got what I've needed. I'm good where I'm at. And that's a key thing of understanding when you are communicating. Now, again, look at all your social media. If all your social media is sounding like the $97 option, can you really be shocked people aren't reaching out to you? Now, if I use fitness example, there's a million fitness professionals out there. You know, when I was a fitness professional, I had my own facility. That was one thing. Knowing that there's another personal trainer, another gym, another fitness center, pretty much a block away that I could grab a rock, walk out my front door and chuck it and hit one in any direction. Majority of people speak like the copy on the right, and it's a race to the bottom. And you sound like everybody else. So the ones that are going to be successful are the ones with the biggest audacious personalities. We all know people on social media that their personality is larger than life. Well, if that's not you and you're speaking like the communication on the right, good luck. You're going to be put in the same box as everyone out there is selling something for $7 to $47 to $97. And you're never going to break out of that. And that's kind of where that extreme ownership comes from. You have to really look at your business and go, am I doing everything I could be activity wise? That's huge. And a lot of the business owners I work with, they already have the activity down, but they're sounding like the $97 option and constantly giving away free stuff. I get them to shift to talk more like the left side, have all of their marketing material be written like the left side. So people actually view you and understand you as high value. They understand you as quick, fast results. They have trust, authority, confidence, clarity of who you are and what you're offering, because they will constantly be attracted to that commercial on the left. And everything you're putting out on social media is a constant commercial. So let's just say you're on Facebook and you become friends with your ideal client on Facebook. Now, Facebook algorithm, because you just became friends, for the next 14 days, are going to see a lot of your content. And they're reading for 14 days straight everything on the right-hand side, and all of a sudden they just associate you with $97. And then you're frustrated when you see that they bought from your customer and spent $10,000 to $20,000 when you could have done a better job for 10,000 or 5,000, whatever your offer is. And it eats you up inside and go, well, I just need to post more. I need to do this other tactic. I need new shiny object. We've all been there. And the great thing, like I said, of branding is important. But if it's going to cost you another 6 months before you even start writing copy to then test it out, you're 6 months behind the ball. Then let's say the 6 months after that, you're writing like on the right, even though you've got your brand dialed in and your your avatar dialed in. Well, great. You're going to spend 6 months trying to figure out why the $97 writing style is not bringing you an ideal client, you'll probably never figure it out. And you'll probably go out of business by that time. I see it so often with a lot of people when they jump into certain programs, you invest $10,000 to $20,000, you put on a credit card, thinking that, hey, I'm gonna sign 5 new clients in the next 2 weeks and make all my money back plus profit. And then all of a sudden you're 6 months in, you haven't made any money. You've spent $1,000 to $5,000 a month on running ads to get absolutely nobody enrolled into your program. Or worse yet, maybe you get one, maybe you get two, maybe you get one a month for 6 months. You're like, yes, this is working. I've got 5 people at $6,000, so that's $30,000. But you spent $20,000 to learn how to do that. You spent $5,000 a month for 6 months and earned $30,000, so you're $30,000 in the hole. And all of a sudden you're going, oh my gosh, how am I gonna pay all this off? I can't keep this up. Right? Or some of the clients that come with, they're getting a good ROI. They're running ads, their organic is working good, and they're converting maybe at 8 to 20%, but they know they should be at maybe 40%. Or that their closing percentage and the people that they're bringing in, that, hey, we're getting 100 calls booked this month. And we've been doing that every single month like clockwork, but 50% of them are not our ideal client. So we do some tests, change it up, and all of a sudden now they get 70 calls booked, but 50, 60, 70 of them are that perfect client, and they're closing at twice the rate. All of a sudden your ad costs go down, the time commitment for the phone call and your sales calls go down, and your profits go through the roof. And it all becomes because of how you're communicating with your ideal client. Are you communicating with them correctly? Because if you're not, there's no way they're going to be paying for your service. They will look for the cheaper option. They're going to go to the person they're following, which has a $97 thing. And the worst thing about that is we all know a $97 solution for a $100,000 problem is never going to solve their problem. And they're then going to lump you into that person that was $97 because you're speaking just like them. And then, so they'll never come to you and hire you. They're going to find somebody else that is speaking them correctly with the high value, high results type of language, or even to a point of luxury language. And so it's very, very key. So again, ask yourself, looking at your branding, looking at your communication, are they on point? Would hiring a branding expert for $5, $10, $20,000 make sense for you, knowing that's not going to actually get you any results for 6 months, probably until you really get things dialed in to what you think, compared to, like I said earlier, when I onboard a client, when we have your branding nailed within the first 3 to 7 days, and it depends on how quickly you get me assets, we start crafting stuff. Within 2 weeks, you're putting out communication to your ideal client, and we're testing. We've got a 5-month head start on results compared to going the other route. So again, everyone gets to choose kind of where their business at and what makes the most sense. And I want you to really look at where you're at in your business and what makes the most sense for you, right? Again, I build a lot of funnels, and it's one thing when I work with a client, each client's offer is a little bit different. The way they want their business to work is a little bit different. So that funnel strategy should be a little bit different, right? One of the biggest things I see as an issue out there sometimes too is, everybody did a book a call funnel for a long time, and all of a sudden now everyone's saying they don't work. Well, they still do work. I actually just put a post out, gosh, was it this morning? I was talking to onboarding a client the other day, and we were going through those funnels, and we were talking about how one of my clients, their webinar funnel, which is a pretty standard webinar funnel out there, a lot of people use, and have failed and said doesn't work anymore. They're actually getting an 8 to 9% conversion rate, which I made the comment to them of, if you go back 5 years ago, when those webinars were working, an 8 to 10% conversion rate was a 7-figure webinar. And things have changed drastically since then, to where a lot of people are converting at like 2%, 3% conversion rates. And that's what's killing them. So with the market sophistication, still being able to hit those 7-figure conversion rate numbers shows you the power of being able to actually communicate with them the correct way, give them the right information. Things can be done correctly. And that's where most of these tactics, again, kind of fail. So if you have any questions about what it's like working with me, what I do, how I could help you out, I work with people several different ways. And again, everything is really customized because it's a do it for you plus a mentorship. And everyone is in a little bit different phase of their business, to where someone already has their branding and everything dialed in. We don't need to obviously spend any time or focus on that. We can start just testing and changing stuff right off the bat. Other people that your branding might be off, yeah, we need to spend some time on that. That'll take a little bit more. Same thing when it comes down to sales process. Do you want to do sales calls? Do you want to click to cart because of your product? Do you want to be able to close people right through DMs? There's a lot of variables and a lot of different situations. Also going to depend on how big your team is. You know, are you a solopreneur, or are you the offer owner and you've got 2 managers, one that heads up the marketing team and the VAs, and the other one that's a sales manager with a sales team of 3 to 5 salespeople? There's different variables with every single business, which is again why the mentorship is why I love that aspect. Number one, I just love coaching people, but then number two, so many times over the last 10, 15 years I've been in the online space that I've worked in a program, and the only help I got was listening to calls for 3 hours and hear about other people's personal problems rather than actually solving business problems. Or just being told, go to the help desk, or being told, hey, your vibration, your frequency is off. You should just meditate and get better. Now, I spend time in prayer every single day. I think I go for walks every single day, all of those things to get your mind focused, sharp, those type of pieces. But if you're meditating, hoping your messaging is going to get better, not going to happen. Same thing with running ads. Not magically going to happen. You don't have power over the algorithm, but you do have power over how you communicate with people and what your branding is. So I hope this really helped you out a ton. Depending where you're at in your business, it might make total sense. It might be like, oh, yep, I get that. Either way, I thank you for listening, and I'm gonna be doing a lot more of these type of comparisons of really going through to help people out. So if there's something specific with your offer, again, comment below or shoot me a message. I'd love to shoot a video and see how I can help. So I'm gonna enjoy the rest of this beautiful, beautiful sunny day, and we will talk soon.